Hello and thanks for downloading this, a special edition of Northern Lights from Business Crack. Now, normally you find us out and about across Cumbria. We're trying to talk to some of the most exciting, interesting people who work in the business community in this part of the world. But tonight, Matthew, they're coming to us. They're coming to see us especially here because we've been invited to this year's prestigious Britain's Energy Coast Business Cluster Awards at Glittering Energus, and it really is tonight. It's completely transformed. It's an amazing site at Lily Hall near Workington. We're going to meet some of the 40 shortlisted companies and individuals. Now, the awards themselves take place after we've recorded this podcast. Look out for details of the winners on the Beck BC social media channels and on the website. But we've been invited to speak to just some to get a snapshot of the Beck BC members who make a positive difference to this area and industry in general. We're going to start though with Dianne Richardson, who's Chief Executive of Beck BC. Dianne, thanks for joining us. You were the first guest on our first ever Northern Lights podcast. It's good to see you back here again at Energus on a very special night.
My pleasure, and absolutely great to see you here. Doesn't the place look wonderful?
Tell us about the history of the awards. They've been going for some time, haven't they? How long?
They have. They've been going for quite some time, but it's difficult for us to pinpoint exactly when they started, just because of changes in the team and things like that. But we know that John Grainger, who's our head judge, has been our head judge for well over a decade, so it's been at least that long.
We hope to speak to John a little later on as well. It's a big year for him this year. We'll tell people why a little later on, but obviously very, very significant involvement in this award. Why have them? What's the purpose of an event like this?
Well, do you know, I think awards are really important, especially here in the north. So let's be honest, Cumbrians and Northerners were not brilliant about shouting about our successes, are we?
We're a bit shy and also perhaps a bit kind of keep our light under a bushel, don't we? We don't like to boast.
Yeah, and we do some amazing things here in Cumbria. You know, I talk to people in the energy industry from nationally, internationally. I talk to them, say where I'm from, and they're like, they absolutely get what we deliver here. They understand that we're problem solvers and that we do really complicated engineering things. And we want to shout about that. Do you know that members put themselves up, they put themselves in, even just to get shortlisted? I know people say this are awards, but we are so strict about how they get through. To be shortlisted is amazing. The winners are exemplary. What we do, under John Grainger's guidance, going back to John, he set up a system whereby we have 3 judges for each category. So we have a sponsor judge, a member judge, and a Beck BC judge. And what they do is they go around the shortlist, so they actually visit them. So you can't do, well, I can write a good bid, I can write a good award submission. You have to be able to walk the walk with our awards. They learn, so often we'll see that they'll put in 1 year and they'll get some feedback because they haven't got through a shortlist or they haven't won. We always try and provide a bit of feedback. They'll come back the next year and they've fixed it. They've had a look and figured out what they need to do.
Go on then, you've very kindly invited us here tonight to speak to some of the people who don't know, of course, whether they've won or not. They're all winners, let's be honest. They've all been nominated, therefore they've all done really well. Why have you chosen the people we're going to meet the next sort of half an hour or so on the podcast? Who are they? What gives us a bit of a kind of a flavour of the kind of people we're going to meet tonight?
So what I tried to do was give you a bit of a mix to show the diversity of our membership, really. So there's a real mix in there of individuals and companies doing very different things and have applied for very different awards. So I think that piece about showing the breadth of who we are as Beck BC comes through with the guests tonight.
Have a great night. Thank you very much for talking to us. John Grainger, we look forward to speaking to him as well. I mean, what's your thoughts on him standing down? It's going to be a big loss, isn't it? Surely he's been such a big part of the organisation for many years.
Do you know, I mean, John, for me personally, coming into this role as first CEO, he was so brilliant with me. Years and years of experience, so supportive, made a real difference for me coming into the role. So that's on a personal basis. When we look at the organisation, he's leaving a legacy here in Beck BC and not just in the awards, throughout the organisation.
So we just heard from a glittering Dianne Richardson, the Chief Executive of Britain's Energy Coast, and I'm joined by one of the people who were shortlisted in the Business Person of the Year category. Zoe Billings joins us now. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, go on, what's it like to be shortlisted? Tell us how it feels.
Surreal, an incredible honour. Really humbling to be among such exalted company. And when the email came through from Dianne, I won't lie, I thought, her email's been hacked, somebody's having a laugh. You know, I knew Mark hadn't nominated me, my business partner, and right. I thought, who'd have thought that what I do was any good, really.
What a nice surprise, I'm sure, and it's all culminating tonight. And good luck, of course. I've explained to our listeners, of course, we won't know the results when we finish recording, but tomorrow it'll be out there, so we wish you well. Tell us then what you do. What is, for people who don't know what Zoe does, what do you do?
So I'm one half of Adapt and Evolve Consultancy, and we go around organisations across the world now doing three things. We reduce sickness, we improve performance, and we support retention.
It's a very timely thing, isn't it, in business? That's a big thing, that people looking after the people is the main job now, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, and if you get that right, the work will look after itself. And we joined 3 years ago and really arrived in quite a crowded space, the wellbeing space, which is only one of our workshops, biological wellbeing. We've carved a niche in there and are forging through where people who maybe focus on the mental health aspect of stress are finding the place too crowded. So my doctorate's in biology, and between Mark and myself we've got over 50 years of policing experience. And yeah, we tell you how stress will kill you and how to stop it killing you, how it hampers performance in organisations, and really how to unblock those performance issues.
So go on, how have you used your real life experience into a kind of a situation where you're in now, where you're advising and teaching people how to, this is from your own life, lived experiences?
Absolutely. So, yep, a BSc and a PhD in biology, and I've tutored it to A-level for over 25 years. And then I retired last year as the head of road death in North Yorkshire Police. So we've dealt with really stressful situations. Mark, my business partner, he's a retired Assistant Chief Constable. So he was Gold Commander, Firearms Commander, all of those sort of really stressful situations. So we meld biology and leadership skills together, do a lot around psychological safety, because we've both worked in really psychologically safe and unsafe teams. And we've seen the difference that it makes, and often those changes that are needed are really, really minor. So we now work across Europe. Our work this summer was across Europe working with digital forensic investigators. So they're the teams that deal with, sort of all the indecent images from a prosecution point of view. So they've got to look at the images, got to grade them and what have you. So it's quite a stressful niche job. And we help them unblock or identify and then mitigate the causes of their lack of psychological safety.
I wonder, can you kind of transmit, or can you kind of transform the skills you learned and used as a police officer into the world of business? I mean, is it transferable? Those kind of skills and that kind of message that you mentioned before about making sure people are healthy and happy?
Strangely enough, it is. And it's a real turning point for Mark and me, because in our previous roles, you didn't even have to want us. You just had to need us, and we were there. But you'd work in teams where you really had to literally have each other's backs. And so you learn the good qualities of a team and how to look after people and how to recognise early signs of stress. And that when the biology comes in on that as well, it's, don't wait for the mental health aspects to show. Get in early, put some measures in place and keep people. Then they stay well and they stay performing and they can actually function. But yeah, it's incredible how transferable your skills are. It's a whole other world out there, and it's almost like a rebirth, but bringing loads of experience and war stories and just expertise with us, really. I made a difference in my time in the police, and now is an opportunity to make a difference all over again with people. We've had over, nearly 3,500 people through our workshops, and we've got a 100% satisfaction rate. And when you get people that have been in the workshops and that say that was life-changing, and that genuinely have, people that have been, medicated for high blood pressure, we teach them techniques to lower their blood pressure and actually take better care of themselves, and you find that their medical doctor has taken them off their blood pressure meds. That's brilliant. That's really rare, and yet high blood pressure is really dangerous. So if we get people down into normal, you go home at night and you think, do you know what, I've done a good day's work there.
You made a difference. Well, good luck tonight. Great to meet you. Zoe, all the best.
Thank you.
So Energus is looking like, I've never seen it before. It's glittering. When you approach it from the dark, it looks like a spaceship. It looks fantastic. I'm delighted to say joined by another person who's been shortlisted. thanks for joining us. Just introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you. So my name is Natasha Banks. I work for the Great North Air Ambulance Service, and we are shortlisted for Charity of the Year.
Excellent stuff. Now, we heard from Dianne Richardson a little earlier on. She was saying, obviously, the times you've been having have been pretty tough with fundraising an issue as well. But you've had support from Energy Coast. What difference has that made?
Oh, it's been incredible. So, we were lucky enough to be awarded the Charity of the Year last year. So it means for the last 12 months, we have been able to connect with the business members that are part of BETBC. We've had a challenge going throughout the year where we're asking businesses to collaborate together to raise funds, and the results have been amazing.
Was it NFU? Was it the farmers from West Cumbria raised? Was it £100,000?
That was Drig Young Farmers. So, Drig Young Farmers, they took it upon themselves that they were going to do fundraising for us as Charity of the Year. They bought a little car, which they then created into a helicopter, and they pulled and pushed that from Drig to the airbase in Langwathby, which is some feat, and to smash the £100,000 mark, we do not see that very often. So what they've done is phenomenal.
And what difference does that make? I came to Langwathby back in the summer. I was hearing something like for every day to operate, you need in the region of 25,000.
Yeah, we look at £25,000 a day operational cost. It equates to around £9.5 million a year. So that £100,000 that Drig raised will go so far towards saving lives. It's vital that we raise money, and for them to kind of step up the mark like that, it will make a real difference.
Sore feet, but well worth it, I'm sure. But as we're coming towards the end of this year, how busy has it been for the air ambulance? I guess in terms of each year, you look back and think, well, last year's been the busiest ever. How would you rate 2025?
Yes, to echo that, we are up on numbers of call-outs that we attend. Each day can be different. Some days we're waiting for a call and it doesn't come, which actually is great because it means that nobody out there needs us. But other days we are job to job, so we can go and attend to a patient, drop them off at the hospital, and then go straight to another patient. So it's really hard to predict, but we have been incredibly busy.
And your patch is vast. I mean, the sun's gone down now, but as we were driving to Energus, you could see the Isle of Man on the horizon. Lovely sunset, but that's your patch as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So we have one of the largest air ambulance areas. So we cover 8,000 square miles, and the Isle of Man, which for the two aircraft is a big area to cover, but we're sparsely populated compared to other regions of the UK.
Well, it's a great result to be shortlisted as well with the charity for the organisation here for Britain's Energy Coast. And what does it mean to be shortlisted, to be part of tonight? Being here, I guess the visibility is great, isn't it? Because you're in front of all these 200 odd people who might want to help you in the future. Yeah,
absolutely. Having that platform to have our branding out there, the name, the Great North Air Ambulance Service, people are aware of it. During the last 12 months, I've had the honour of speaking every month at the network's events, and it's that constant education piece that maybe people don't realise that we're 100% charity funded, or they don't realise how much it takes to operate. So just that education piece alone, regardless of the fundraising, has a huge impact for us.
Excellent stuff. Well, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
There's a chocolate theme tonight as well. She should be in for a good night, hopefully, either way.
Yes, chocolate always wins.
Well, there's a real air of expectation. Lots of people arriving for tonight's event. As you can probably hear in the background, there's people thronging around. Food will be served in about half an hour or so we've got to crack on and meet as many people as we can before tonight's event gets underway. Delighted to say, joined by somebody else who's been shortlisted in the micro business category. In this case, it's Clint Stamper. Clint, thanks for joining us.
No problem at all. How we doing? Are we all right?
We're doing all right. How about you? What's it like to be shortlisted?
I'm good. Well, to be honest, it's a bit lost for words, to be honest. We are a very, very small business, and, the activity made us reflect on everything that we've accomplished since we started, in particular, last 12 months. And, we had to go through quite a rigorous judging session, if you like, and they recognised our achievements and what we've done and the difference we've made to people's lives. So we specialise in electrical training, really in short commercial courses. Now, I don't want to try and talk too technical, if that makes sense, but anyone that's an electrician will probably understand things like 18th edition wiring regulations or inspection and testing. We do a number of short courses, green skills and stuff like that, but any course that we do run is pretty short. And when I say a short course, it could be a day to 5 days. But the key thing is the people that do the courses, we make an impact in terms of their lives, whether it's finding work or a career change or opening a whole ream of opportunities for them to progress in the industry. So, that's pretty much us.
You must have some great stories of people who've come with, not much perhaps confidence, and you've been able to give them that confidence and find a job.
Yeah, well, we do run a qualification called the Experienced Worker Assessment. Now, it's quite a long-winded name, but the idea of that qualification is to bring sort of people that's worked in the industry, maybe as an electrician's mate for a number of years. They're actually doing everything an electrician does, but they don't have that formal recognition. So we offer them a pathway without going back to college and starting from scratch. It's more of an assessment for them to demonstrate that they have them knowledge, skills and behaviours to actually get that industry recognition and become a great electrician.
I'd have thought in this day and age, the demand for trades. I've always been told that you can't, you can name your price if you've got a trade. Is that true?
Well, there's a huge shortage of electricians and plumbers and other trades across the country, to be honest. And in Cumbria, we'd just like to think we're doing our bit to sort of upskill the industry in, some of these essential skills, in particular PV, energy storage, electrical vehicle charging, because the baseline has been electrician to fit them, but actually these are specialist installations where we do need to train them to upskill to a level that's competent and safe, for consumers out there.
This is Britain's energy coast, so what a place to be based in.
Absolutely. So, being part of Britain's energy coast, we set up 3 years ago. I mean, my background is I'm an electrician by trade. I was a head of department at the local college, worked at the local college for 15 years, and do you know what? I just decided I'm either going to retire here because I love my job, love teaching, or I'm going to go and do something else. When I turned 40, I decided to go and do something else, sort of join the family business, and in the background I wanted to have my own little project, which was electrical training, and to be honest, it's flipped on itself. All I do now is electrical training from our own setup in Cockermouth. We're located at Wellington Farm, and it's pretty busy. It's really took off. It's really working well for us.
What's it like to be shortlisted for an event or an award at this kind of event? What's it been to you?
Yeah, I'm lost for words. Getting to the shortlist is absolutely fantastic. It'd be great if we win it. If we don't win it, we're just as happy. We're happy to see, have that recognition. I think in my eyes, when you get to that sort of level of recognition, I think everyone in the category, in that category, the winners in their own right, to be perfectly honest. So it's got to be a very difficult job for the judges, but fingers crossed. I hope we do well.
You're already a winner, aren't you? Really?
Well, I'm quite modest, but it's great to be where we are, and it's great to have that recognition. So fingers crossed. But we look forward to seeing how it goes later on tonight.
Good man. Good luck. Have a good night. Thanks again.
Lovely talking to you. Thank you very much.
This is Northern Lights from Business Crack. We're backstage at Energus at the start of the Britain's Energy Coast Awards for 2025, and I'm joined by one of the main sponsors, Sellafield, who've been involved in this event for many years, I think now. Just introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Good evening, my name's James Riddick. I'm Chief Supply Chain Officer for Sellafield, so I'm responsible for the procurement and management of all of the suppliers and contractors that provide all the goods, works and services for Sellafield's mission.
That's a big job, isn't it? How many contractors, how many suppliers do you deal with? Do you know?
We've got well over 1,000 suppliers, partners, contractors across the whole patch, and last year we spent 1.8 billion with them, so a lot of work, really important work and fundamental to what we do on site.
How many years have you been involved in that role yourself?
So I'm 18 months in, so I'm still a relative newbie, but picking things up slowly, I think.
Do you think when it comes to business, I've worked all over the UK, and I find that especially in this part of the world, people don't often, especially in this job, shout about the great work they're doing.
I think that's very true. So I am from Cumbria originally, so I grew up half an hour from here, always knew Sellafield. So there's a personal element to this, but the professional element, the size and scale of what we do, Yeah, we could shout about it more. It's fundamental. I think if people knew more about what happens on site, I think they'd be even more interested and fascinated by the unique work we do. A lot of it's one of a kind, first of its kind, so really important work.
And what about getting involved with yourselves? I mean, how easy is it if you're a small business and you've got this fantastic idea, you want to try and literally break into Sellafield and make sure that you know about it? Is it easy for a small trader to make that change?
So it can be. We've got various routes to market. So we engage with the supply chain a number of routes. You can work directly for us. You can use things like our enabling innovation framework. We have dynamic purchasing systems that you can apply for that are always open. Or you can work for some of our big partners. So we've obviously got PPP as well, a fantastic route to get onto the supply chain and work on some of the mega projects.
And events like tonight, when it comes to sort of making sure that people know who you are and the access routes, how useful is an informal event like an awards ceremony to make sure people see that you are human and you are approachable?
Well, that human, approachable, down-to-earth kind of nature is really important to us. We are all humans at the end of the day, and we want to get to know suppliers. Things like this, events like this, Beck BC's role is fundamental. The community, the local ecosystem, local SMEs are really important to us. Without them, we can't do our work. So it's good to see them on a social setting, a little bit less formal. It's not a tender process, a procurement process. Get to know the people behind the work. And Beck PC has a fundamental role in that.
Speaking as a Cumbrian, you've been around, you've come back. Clearly there must be an appeal to coming back to this part of West Cumbria. What is the appeal? What makes it different from Liverpool or the North East or wherever?
So I think it's unique because of its people, because of geography, its location. There's a lot of pride in Sellafield, pride in the history, the uniqueness of the mission and the job we do. And also that is recognised on the international stage as well. There are elements of the work here that have never been done before, locally, nationally or internationally, and people are very proud of that. And I think that's very attractive to come back and work. And local boy, come back and enjoying the mission.
We'll have a good night tonight. I'm sure it'll go well. You've got lots of... Is it the kind of place that when you come to an event like this as a sponsor, you make maybe half a dozen friends and lots of enemies because they don't win?
This is what I'll be saying later because I'm presenting in the Business of the Year award. Like a procurement process, there's always more runners-up than winners, but we've got some worthy winners tonight.
Have a good night. Thanks for talking. Thank you. So we are backstage at Britain's Energy Coast Awards at Energus at Lily Hall near Workington. Talking to some of the people who have been shortlisted for the awards this year. Adam from Adamedia.
Good evening, Nigel. Yes, how are you?
You're shortlisted, not for the first time.
We've been members of Beck BC now for 10 years, actually. We formed the company in 2015 and then very quickly joined Beck BC. And we, in 2017, were shortlisted for Micro Business of the Year and actually went on to win. So former winners of the award were shortlisted. And we have applied in previous years as well. 2018 was our last time entering. We've had about a 6-year hiatus without any entries as we kind of grew, built the company larger, and then this year we're thrilled to be shortlisted in the Micro and Growing Business of the Year award.
2 chances, good luck, brilliant.
Thank you.
What does it mean to you when being shortlisted? I mean, it is nice, isn't it, to be at an event like this? It's always great to go and talk to people and be involved in the atmosphere. It's lovely, isn't it? But does it matter when you're in business to be shortlisted? Winning's great, isn't it? But even being shortlisted, does it make a difference?
I mean, I think you said it there. Being part of it is the key thing, really. Beck BC has been a big part of our journey. It's our kind of home, effectively, our spiritual home. And to be shortlisted amongst people that we'd call friends is hugely important, and to have our name there and the increased profile, that's a lot of the kind of kudos. The win is obviously lovely as well, but it's not what we're here for. We're here for a lovely night and to celebrate with friends, the team members, and obviously our valued clients.
Been talking to people, probably some of your colleagues actually in business in West Cumbria, saying it's been a tough whole year. It's been a year where you couldn't really predict what was going to happen in this country or abroad, in fact. How has it been for yourself?
Yeah, I feel like there has been a kind of nationwide economic pullback in a sense, and sort of like some tightening of purse strings, especially through publicly funded companies, including some of our clients, I may add. But also, I do sense there's a real sense of optimism as well building. There's lots of new things happening, new investment in the area, new things being built. You only have to look around Whitehaven, where I was originally born and raised, to see the sheer number of new investments coming in and what Beck's doing with the town, and really kind of improving it. And I think we're on the cusp of some fairly significant investment for the area, along with SMRs, etc., new industries. So we're kind of positioned to help support those industries through what we do, which is obviously video communications across a whole wide range of different clients.
And 10 years on then, there's somebody, and also unusually, your name is in the business, isn't it? Literally.
I
mean, do you still get the same buzz, the same enjoyment that you had 10 years ago?
Always. I think it's one of the greatest pleasures being in business, especially in a small business, because you live and breathe what you do. You feel every high and every low, and it's I kind of sometimes describe it. Not that I have a child, but it feels like what I imagine what it would be like to have a child, where every day you need to look after it, nurture it, feed it, and you are so proud when you see it grow and develop into a larger entity. So it's that kind of constant nurturing and that constant development that you then look back and you had that satisfaction and reward that you've seen what you've put in grow into the being that it's become.
This is Business Crack's Northern Lights podcast, coming to you from the backstage area of Britain's Energy Coast Business Cluster. Got to be quick because we're about to serve the food, and I'm sure many people don't want to be late for their tea tonight. I'm not accusing Mark Telford of being in that category, but Mark, you might well be peckish, I'm not sure, from Fourth Engineering.
Well, I'm all right for now. Yeah, I haven't had my first beer yet.
What a year it's been for Fourth.
Hasn't it? Yeah, hasn't it just? 25th anniversary. Seems like 5 minutes, to be honest. It's just incredible that 25 years on, from an idea in a back bedroom, here we are.
When you look back in that time, there must be sort of highs and I guess challenges on the way as well.
That's business. There's highs, there's lows, there's despair, there's celebrations, there's every emotion you can possibly have. I always say to people, once you get beyond calling it a job, you actually sort of transcend into a different level of enjoying every day, and every day is a different one.
How important has it been to try and get the right team behind you to kind of build the team that you need to make it a success?
It's the most important thing is getting the team, but it's the most difficult thing as well. In the sort of economic climate here in West Cumbria, it's incredibly difficult to get a team. It's even harder to keep one. But I'm pleased to say that's been the model of our success. We have like Graham Cartwright, who's just taken on the MD role now. He started as an apprentice at 17-year-old, and we've got probably 60% of the people that work for Forth have been there more than 15 years. So yeah, getting the right team is absolutely the must thing.
What role does that being part of the cluster play in either helping keep the team together or put the word out that there are opportunities?
The cluster's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I can't say enough good things about the cluster, and I always encourage anybody that I talk to, new startups and anybody, they should join. For me, it's a big networking opportunity. We don't do business development. That's not something that we get involved in. We tried it in the past, and it's a difficult thing. Again, it's an area thing. So coming to the cluster and meeting people and networking is really, really important for me. It's a collaboration, and that's what it needs to be, rather than looking to see if you can poach somebody's staff or nick somebody's engineers or something like that. No, it's more like how can you collaborate together, how can you work together, and how can you deliver worldwide success, really, rather than just local success.
Well, our final guest tonight, before the awards get underway, is somebody who's been involved with the awards for probably more years than he cares to remember. We welcome John Grainger.
I've been involved for about 15 years, I would say now. Certainly judging and head judging for about the last 10, which is quite an onerous task in itself, but very rewarding when it comes to a night of success like we have tonight.
People don't see, do they, all the kind of hours of looking through applications and visits and things like that. What's it like when you're going around to make sure or try and work out who the worthy winners should be?
Well, we set out some fairly stringent criteria to start off with to get us to the shortlist. But that's only the start, as you know, of these award situations. But rather than doing desk analysis, which some people do, we go out to visit all of the companies at their sites so they can actually give us the full exposition of what they're trying to achieve and why they should be shortlisted for an award like they've got tonight.
It's a big job, though, isn't it, to go around to talk to all these different companies, get under the skin, really get to know them as well. You've done it for that many years. How have things changed? I mean, are people becoming more competitive to make sure they do win an award? Because it matters, doesn't it?
You're right. I mean, often the award winners might have been runners-up in previous years and maybe cleaned up their application a little bit and known how to touch the right sort of buttons, and that's great. But it doesn't make it any easier for the judging panel, it's got to be said.
In the time you've been involved, I mean, have things changed? Have you found that people have, the quality, the standard of awards applicants has got higher?
Undoubtedly, and I think that's because they've been to something like the awards presentation we're having tonight and seeing what the winners and the runners-up, the glory that they actually genuinely get from it, and think it's something that we should really think about entering next year. I wanted to ask for the tips, but I always say that if you stick to the criteria, then the judging will be subjective in the end rather than objective in the first process. It's difficult for me because a lot of friends have got businesses in this business cluster with 250 members. You know, a lot of people. It took me quite a while to get through to you today because people wanting to say hello and good evening and so forth, and that's great in itself because these are the friendly awards.
It is friendly. There's a good vibe about the place as well, and it's also tinged with a bit of sadness, I guess. It's your final year this year.
It is. I'm taking what I would hopefully term a well-earned retirement, but I'm glad that we're in a situation where the awards are very strong and will go into the future, and I have no doubt that we'll be celebrating success for a good few more years yet. May not be completely hands-off, you never know.
Never say never. Good to talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to Dianne, Richardson, John Grainger and all our guests this evening. The event is about to get underway. Everyone, I think it's fair to say, is a winner. Well, we hope we've managed to capture a flavour at Britain's Energy Coast Business Cluster Awards for you. The budget is next week. It's focusing many minds at the moment. But our next edition of Northern Lights will feature reaction from sectors across Cumbria. So subscribe now to make sure you don't miss it. And keep an eye on Business Crack for news and reaction. I'm Nigel Thompson. Thanks for listening.